So, another race weekend, another shit show. Another example of the mind conditioning machine lying to people. How many people work for them? Presented experts, people that they put on the TV to present to us information as presented paid experts earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a year each, and yet they can't tell us the truth. Strange that, isn't it? It's quite simple. Article 52.2, okay? We're talking about starting the race behind a safety car. Well, it's not, okay? This is a cursory parade lap. So we did the formation lap of the sprint race behind the safety car. Then they did another one. Then they brought the cars into the pit lane. And we'll play the video in a minute. But quite simply, there's rules, everybody. Strange that, isn't it? There's rules, but nobody knows the rules, okay? No, we do, okay? Because here it is, 52.2. No driver may overtake another car on the track until he passes the line for the first time after the safety car has returned to the pits. So, yeah, there's no overtaking until the safety car's returned to the pits, so nobody's racing until that point. The sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. Quite simple. A race begins if they begin proceedings behind a safety car because they are lapping behind the safety car to establish whether conditions are going to permit safe racing, or what they are seeking to do is create a drier line, create the dispersal of the wet from the track to get rid of as much spray as possible to make visibility safe enough to conduct a race. Once they've done that and they're satisfied it's safe enough to proceed, that is when something can begin as a contest, as a competition. And quite simply, 52.2 of this year's sporting regulations, the sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. So I can tell you that I'm not being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds by Sky Show F1 in the same way that Brundle and Crofty are. But this is what Kravitz, Brundle and Crofty will tell you.
In the pit lane. A very busy pit lane, Crofty, and I'm not quite sure of the wisdom of asking all 19 Formula One cars to come into the space where there are all the mechanics standing around, because the mechanics thought they were going to go to the grid. They now know they're not going to go to the grid. They're going to go to the fast lane of the pit lane, as if it was a red flag once a race had started. But Crofty, the thing is, for me, the race hadn't started.
Well, it had, Ted.
Well, it was still the formation lap.
No, Ted, the race had started. What happens is...
No, Ted, the race had started, affirmed Crofty. No, Ted, you're wrong, Ted, the race had started.
Have a formation lap behind the safety car. When they cross the line, that is then lap one of the race, so the team should have known that.
No, Ted, they have a formation lap behind the safety car, but when they cross the line, that's the start of the race. The teams should have known that. No, absolutely wrong, Crofty. You see here, it says here, Crofty, the sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. It's not rocket science, is it, chicken? Not rocket science. But you're willing to take the money and lie to everybody, conditioning the minds of people with falsehoods. You're lying to me. You're lying to every child on this planet that's watching Formula One. Every adult on this planet that's watching Formula One. Lying to them. That's damaging. Extremely damaging. That's an abuse. Why'd you do it, Crofty? Because it's not hard to understand these rules and regulations, is it? It's not hard to understand sport and what the notion of sport is. Sport being a contest, a competition between competitors. And if all you're doing is lapping behind a safety car, unable to compete, unable to contest because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to pass one another. As it says on here, no driver may overtake another car on the track until he passes the line. Okay, and this is after the safety car has returned to the pits with those cars left on track. And the moment that leader crosses the start-finish line after the safety car has left the track, that is when the race begins. That is when people can start contesting, competing with one another. This is somebody that's an expert of commentary in a sport and yet cannot inform the watching audience of that dynamic. Why is that? Well, the simple answer is the governing body of the sport, those who create the rules and whose role it is to enforce those rules, they don't do it properly. They don't do it uniformly. There's a problem, isn't there? There's a problem. And so the paid commentators, they have to create confusion. They have to project uncertainty. They have to go, oh, nobody knows. It could be this. It could be that. It could be opinions. Let me know what you think it should be, everybody. None of those fucking rules. What you think doesn't matter. What it is what the rules say it is. So what your opinion is, I don't give a fuck what you think or what your opinion is. That is what it is there. It's quite simple, isn't it? Destroys the notion of an argument. Because it's binary. It either is or it isn't. There's no grey area. There's no loophole. But that's what they want to do to you. That's what they want to do to us. Introduce conflict. Introduce the notion of uncertainty. Introduce the adversarial process. Just like the British legal system. Strange that, isn't it? People making money out of presenting an argument. Yes, indeed. Quite simple. But we go back to Crofty here.
Yeah, we're one lap into this race.
We've affirmed by Martin Brundle, the co-expert. Absolutely right, Crofty. Absolutely right, Martin. Circle jerking. The expert affirming the expert. Yes, you're right, Crofty. Yes, you're right, Martin. Yes, you're right, Crofty. Yes, you're... No, bullshit. You're both wrong. Funny that. And you're the experts. Isn't it strange how experts in media aren't able to tell us the true reality of a situation? But this is a dynamic that we're all victims of in life. The mind conditioning machine, the media, informs us about the dynamics of what is going on in this world in the way that those who own it want us to believe it to be. That is what the truth is. It's the mind conditioning machine of those in the positions of power who want us to believe things to be a certain way. And they create the notion of confusion. Oh, nobody knows. Is it this? Is it that? You can all fight each other over whether you think it is or whether you think it isn't. It's one of their tools to create uncertainty, to create conflict. Whilst they do what the fuck they want and manipulate the rules to generate the outcomes that they want.
What happens is you have a formation lap behind the safety car. When they cross the line, that is then lap one of the race, so the team should have known that.
Yeah, we're one lap into this race, and so this is a red flag situation. It's not an aborted start.
Absolutely wrong, Martin. It is an aborted start situation because we've never started. A red flag is when you stop a race. Yeah, that's when you stop a race. We never started this race. We didn't get to start the race, so we've aborted the situation before starting it. Yes, it is an aborted start. But this is the mind conditioning.
Across the line, that is then lap 1 of the race, so the team should have known that.
Yeah, we're 1 lap into this race, and so this is a red flag situation. It's not an aborted start situation where they go back to the grid, and that's why they pull up in the fast lane, and anything that gets taken out with the fast...
Just chatting shit. Verbal diarrhea. Keep the noise going there. Keep mind conditioning the kids. Or you could just go, there it is. The sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the lead car crosses the line. Oh, that didn't happen. They haven't started it yet. They've aborted it because it's not safe. You could see the onboards that the visibility was piss poor. Okay, we don't want people getting severely injured or dying due to trying to travel around that track at 150 mile an hour, 200 mile an hour when you can't see anything. So it's the duty of care, the responsibility of the FIA to say conditions aren't suitable for this sport to take place. So therefore we will take the safety precaution, the measure of not commencing this sport. And we will see if the conditions change to enable the commencement of this sport. That's all it is. That's all it is. But oh, the kiddies won't like that. The kiddies won't like that. They'll be bored already. They'll have moved on to TikTok or Instagram already. They'd have scrolled on already. So we have to lie to them, don't we? We have to condition their minds. Oh, you've seen a race now. Has Oscar won the race? No, was it Kimi? No, it was Oscar in the lead. Was Oscar in the lead? Has Oscar won that race? No, because it hasn't started. But it wants to keep the kiddies excited, doesn't it? Keep the kiddies occupied. Occupy the minds. So we'll carry on with the bullshit.
Lane to be worked on will then be applied to start from the pit lane. So you're in race conditions here.
Can we change the headrest again? I'm going to fall back.
In fact, let's play the next clip.
In Spa, didn't we? Do you remember?
In Spa, didn't we? Remember?
That crazy where we had a non-race race in Spa.
Where we had a non-race race. What the fuck's one of them then, Martin? What the fuck is a non-race race? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Well, a non-race race. Well, a non-race is not a race. It's a not. If it's a non something, it's nothing. Non didn't happen. Yeah. So it's a non-race. It's not a race. We had not a race in Belgium. What's one of them then? Oh, a manipulation, a lie. That Brundle and Crofty were once again telling us, oh, the race has officially started now, when it hadn't. No, it hadn't. All that actually happened in there, the true dynamics of what was taking place there was that it wasn't safe to commence sport in Belgium 2021. The conditions were such that it was dangerous and they could not allow, because they've got a duty of care, the FIA have, to the competitors, to the track marshals, to the teams, and they couldn't allow competitive sport to take place because it was dangerous. So what they did with a small amount of time remaining in their time window allocated while they conducted a parade, they didn't want to have to refund the fans for their ticket money for not seeing a race, and they wanted to keep things going with the mind conditioning. So what they did, they pretended that you were seeing a race, even though it was a non-race race. And they paraded the cars for a couple of laps behind the safety car, and then the safety car pulled into the pits, followed by all the cars, and they never achieved that condition of this bit here. The sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. Oh, that was introduced in 2025 for this year, wasn't it? Let's go back to this.
It's the 2 laps and half points, which won't happen again because it's necessitated a change in the points and how they were awarded.
It won't happen again because it necessitated a change, didn't it, Crofty? Absolutely right, Crofty.
Given how many laps that you've done in Formula One. So that's the weather radar.
No, you see, Crofty, it will never happen again, even though you're lying about it.
That crazy where we had a non-race race in Spa.
It's the 2 laps and half points, which won't happen again because it's necessitated a change in the points and how they were awarded.
No, you see, it didn't necessitate a change, Crofty. You see, they introduced a change, saying, 2 racing laps have to be completed before any points are awarded. They introduced that after Belgium. But what happened before Belgium 2021? Already covered it. Because you see, this is the 2025 regulations. This here is the 2021 regulations. Crazy shit. And there we go. It must have been 44, Article 44. The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. Strange that, isn't it? Strange that the 2021 sporting regulations already covered that situation. But we don't know what the rules are. Nobody understands the rules. You could argue. No. You're just all liars, aren't you? Just all liars, lying for an agenda, taking money to broadcast a corrupt narrative. Taking money to create confusion. Taking money to lie to people, lie to the population, mind condition people with falsehoods. That's the kind of bastards you people are. That's what you are. And you know, as the media showed us, this is centuries old techniques. Okay, this is how they've developed the ability to rule and have control of people. They know this has been researched over centuries. These are the dynamics of control over the minds of people, getting people to accept what it is that those with the power and the control that are doing things to make themselves the wealthy ones. That's what they do. They feed people disinformation, misinformation. They utilize their way of being able to broadcast that information through whatever the main way of doing it is at that time. We're living in an era of media where it's the mind conditioning media that informs people and conditions people's beliefs. And that's what we're living through. So this is the bullshit.
Given how many laps that you've done in Formula One. So that's the weather radar.
The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. That didn't happen at Belgium 2021 because the leader didn't stay out on track when that safety car returned to the pits. They all followed it in. That was it. That race never started. There was never a point in time where any of those competitors could contest for position. Never. And yet what did they do? They crowned Max Verstappen the winner of that non-race race. Of that non-race, they crowned Max Verstappen the winner of something that wasn't a race, that wasn't a competition, and yet they created a winner of it. Strange that, isn't it? And we ended up with the season finale in Abu Dhabi where the two main protagonists are level on points, but Max Verstappen is ahead by virtue of the fact he's got supposedly 9 race wins to Lewis Hamilton's 8, but the 9th, that one of them, was the title of winning the non-race race. But what also accompanied the fake win of a non-race race was 12.5 points. Lewis Hamilton benefited to the tune of 7.5 points, but nobody should get anything because it's a non-race race. And a non-race race, as I'm sure it will say in the regulations that govern the conditions, oh, there's no rules about the non-race race in the regulation. Oh, funny that, because it's not a fucking race, is it, dickhead? So you don't need to make rules for a non-race race, because a non-race race is nothing. Wankers. Anyway, so nothing. There's no rules for a nothing situation, which means there's no points awarded for another nothing situation. They gave Max 12.5, they gave Lewis Hamilton 7.5. Nobody gets anything. But that differential's 5. That's 5 more to Max than they gave to Lewis. So rather than going into Abu Dhabi level on points, but with Max winning 9 races to 8, well, it's 8 wins all, but Hamilton's actually leading the championship by 5 points. Because you strip out 12.5 points from Verstappen for the non-race race, and you strip out 7.5 points from Hamilton's total for the non-race race. And what that does, that produces totals which are 8 wins each, but Hamilton ahead by 5 points. Oh, less likely to see Max try and take him out then, aren't we? Less likely to see that. Funny that, isn't it? Funny how you can manipulate things. But Max absolutely deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. He had no luck all year. He led the most laps. He got the most amount of race wins. He got the most amount of podiums. What else what are the other irrelevant statistics? Yeah, they presented with a load of them. They listed them out for us. But what was the next one?
From the FIA that the race did not start. It was an extra formation lap that was thrown.
Oh, we've actually got news from the FIA that the race did not start. Oh. So this is the mind conditioning media. That they have arguments with each other, but they affirm each other. Yes, we've started. No, absolutely right, Martin. Oh, absolutely right, Crofty. Yes, it's actually well, the team should have known that. Oh, actually, the FIA is saying it. Why can't you communicate that with clarity? As a paid, presented experts of the sport, why do you just not have the ability to understand the regulations which are there in this season? All it takes, if you're being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to be the experts of a sport, the presented expert, all it takes is reading this, understanding it. That's surely a job requirement. Reading and understanding the regulations of the sport that you are there to present to people and educate people about. And yet you don't. But one of the reasons you don't is you're part of the F1 mind conditioning machine, and part of your role is to keep people confused. Don't tell them what the real rules are, because you don't know if those that are actually enforcing the rules and applying them are actually going to do it. Because they don't do it in a uniform manner, do they? They do it in an arbitrary manner, depending on how they want to manipulate the outcomes, don't they? Yes, that's not a sport. That's a corrupt enterprise. That's a corrupt shit show. Yes, the British legal system as well, that operates by a similar manner. They tell you, using their version of media, that, oh, it's the system that's respected and recognised the world around, the British adversarial process legal system. No, that's a bullshit manipulation as well. We'll get to that eventually. But we'll conquer that, because that's where this is going to go with the Abu Dhabi 2021 case. But we need to iron it out first and make sure that the corruption within gets eradicated first. More on that in future videos. Back to the official confirmation from the FIA that it actually hadn't started.
Into proceedings, but what it has done is cut down the amount of laps that we will get for the race, because the cars have run out of fuel if we now had a 19-lap race. And that, Ted, is hot off the presses from Cameron at the FIA.
Okay, I've had it double confirmed by no less authority than Andy Stevenson at Aston Martin, the sporting director. So will you believe him, Crofty? I know you didn't believe me.
I didn't believe you.
That's fine. No. I'm used to that. I've got no problem. And Crofty, I'm also not the kind of person to say I told you so.
Who do you believe, everybody? Oh, I believe Martin. Martin's the expert. I believe Crofty. Crofty's the expert. Me, I'm just some bloke on YouTube that just tells you things based on evidence and what the rules are. You know, I show you. I'm not here for a discussion. Okay, I'm not here to ask you what you think in the comment section. I'm not here to ask for opinions. I'm just here to tell you what it is. This is what it is. Yeah? This is what it is. The sprint session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. If you have an opinion that's different to that, you're fucking wrong. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. It's wrong. That's what the right is. They're the rules. They're the regulations. That is what must be adhered to. And if those that are applying them aren't, well, what are they doing? They're not fit for purpose. They're manipulating something, aren't they? Yeah, they're manipulating something. This is going to be the end of this particular video because there's quite a few other things that happened at the Miami Sprint.
So I won't say that.
But you told me so.
No, I didn't. So the starting procedure.
Everybody in the crowd, they're all knowledgeable, aren't they? They're all knowledgeable in the crowd. None of them are brain dead. Minions, just brain dead ants, aren't we? Brain dead, mind conditioned ants. All having a lovely time. All living our best life. All entitled to your opinion about something. And they know that. And they don't give a fuck about you. They happily just exploit you, abuse you, mind condition you, sell you some shit as long as they're extracting from you.
The race never started. The starting procedure was suspended.
Absolutely right there, Ted. It's not like an aborted start situation, says Martin. No, it's not like that. But it is like that, isn't it? Funny that.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the start. It's baking.
Woo! I'm on the telly! Woo! Yeah, we're excited. Really excited. Yeah, lots of things to talk about in the Miami Sprint. Max's out of position start. Didn't Max was the one who was grassing up Lando Norris? Oh, he's so clever, is Max. He's able to detect that and inform the stewards of another car that's starting out of position. Oh, that's Max Verstappen. Oh, he's fucking uniquely talented, is Max Verstappen. Yeah, you were guilty of one of them, weren't you, Max? Oh, no, not Max. No. He was just in touch with the line, but no, we couldn't see the right camera angle. We couldn't tell for sure, could we? No, not with Max, not for that one. We've got the turn one incident. Did he push him off the track? Did he not push him on the track? Was this the same as Saudi turn one? Was it that all over? Oh, it's quite easy to analyse that. Davidson finally gets one right again. Still bullshitting in the lead up to it, but he actually gets something right. We've got safety cars. We've got some more bullshit in there as well. But I'll take you through that in the future video that I'll make later on. There's quite a number of things that I heard, again, bullshit from the media being spoken about in the Miami Sprint event. So we'll go through that again. And this is just the sprint. What other bullshit have we got to come for this rest of this weekend? Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? Exciting. Can't wait. Thank you all for your time.